Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Creative Conversation podcast, where we talk about our creative life and everything else related to our artistic journey. So, today I would like to talk about negative criticism. You know, when you or your artwork get bad review or maybe a mean comment from someone. And I'm sure most creative people who are brave enough to put their artwork out there come across negative criticism at some point. And I think it can happen anywhere you might show your creative work, but I think it happens mostly online, where so often these art critics can hide and they don't have to face you. It can also sometimes become really mean and personal. So for now, let's just concentrate on the beautiful souls, the art critics, and these nice people who know so much about your art, about what's right and how you should do your art, that they have to share their opinion with you. Sometimes this criticism is not as direct or mean, and it's hidden behind nice words like constructive criticism. So I think it's a polite way to refer to negative criticism because it's supposed to be useful and effective to you and help you with your artwork, I guess. But see, to me, this doesn't even make sense. How can someone know better than you how you should do your art? And yes, there is type of advice that might do you good, but this type of advice you will only get from your friends, your art teacher, and perhaps a couple of strangers who really appreciate and care about your artwork. These are the only people who will give you true constructive criticism, and you can definitely listen to them if you want. So basically, consider the source of criticism and decide if there's any value in it. When I started taking an interest in photography in the late 90s, I developed an approach to photography which I called no rules photography, or in short, I used to call it non-photography. The idea behind non-photography was that a photographer or any other artist should follow their inner drive and not a set of rules and guidelines. This is just a very short explanation about non-photography. It's really just the tip of it. In fact, I wrote a whole book about it. So this is just so you get a basic idea of what it was. And I think that because of this approach that I had, I really didn't have to deal with criticism at all. It's not to say that I didn't get any negative criticism, but it was not my work that was ever criticized. It was my ideas about non-photography that irritated a few people. So it's true, some people don't feel comfortable straying away from the herd. But I think they dislike it even more when someone else does. However, I often find that this type of criticism usually fuels me, helps me to stick to my ideas, and it even drives some of my ideas further into the extreme. Come to think of it, I do have one short criticism of my artwork story to share with you. It happened in 1997, and after a few years of living in Los Angeles, I had put together a website to share my view of Los Angeles. I did it through pictures that I took while I was bike riding. And it was a website about the city, not the photography. And the photos were just there to help me share my view of the city. It was all very nice and mostly fun. until one day I received an email message from a photography professor. He absolutely hated my pictures, and he claimed I had no idea what I was doing, which sadly was absolutely true. But as it always happens in my life, disapproval actually pushes me in the exact opposite direction. I don't know why, but I always do it. I know some people, when they get criticized, they just shut down business. But I'm totally the opposite. I just it drives me to do more and maybe to prove myself or something. Obviously, I knew he was right and that I was not a photographer, but that doesn't mean I cannot take great pictures, right? So instead of having a normal and sane reaction to his criticism, just telling him I'm not trying to be a photographer and then moving on with my life, I essentially began developing my non-photography approach and never quite looked back. Imagine what a great loss to the world of photography it would have been had I indeed listened to him. I'm of course joking, but it would have been a great loss to me in my life if I had let his disapproval stop me. And by the way, this professor who criticized my photos, after a period of great email debates between us, he said that in fact he only wrote to me because he thought I showed a remarkable potential to grow and become a great photographer. That's a very strange way of being positive and supportive, don't you think? And I know most articles, books, and professionals will tell you you should listen to criticism and try to learn from it. And they will also tell you that constructive criticism improves your art. And I'll tell you, the only thing that will improve your art is you. And you doing your thing just the way it feels right to you. That's it. Negative analysis of your work, or what sometimes is politely referred to as constructive criticism, should be avoided, maybe even ignored. I really believe it will only divert you from the true nature of your artistic expression. In fact, I just thought about it while talking to you here. I just thought of something, and I think I just figured out the mystery of the negative criticism. So bear with me here. Okay, so let's see. When I see some artwork, something that I don't like or doesn't speak to me, and I'm pretty sure you do the same thing, I just move on. I don't really say anything. Why should I spend time and energy on something that doesn't speak to me? Life is way too short, right? However, sometimes I'm expected to say something. Maybe someone asks me for my opinion or just expects me to say something. So now remember, I'm not so crazy about the work, okay? So what do? I simply look for something I do like. So I would say something like, I really like the colors you used here, or you are very creative, or something like that. So I always feel that it's not my place to tell someone what they did wrong or how they should express themselves, because this is what art is, right? It's your expression, your self-expression. And just because their artwork doesn't speak to me, doesn't mean it's not good, and doesn't mean someone else might not just love it. Okay, so we established that, right? So what I really want to know, who are these people who take their time to stop everything they were doing just to let you know how stupid your artwork is? Who are these people anyway? It seems like these people have too much time on their hands to be super mean to someone else. So I think they're doing it instead of being busy creating something. I just figure out who these losers are and why they are writing hurtful comments. I believe these people are really jealous of your success. And especially if they see that you're getting some nice reviews and good comments, either that or they're just jealous of your artwork because it's so good. So in any case, I think it means you are really good. If you manage to invoke some strong feelings of jealousy in someone, you must be doing something right. So think about it. Negative criticism is actually a good thing. So yeah, don't let it get to you. I know we all need validation all the time, but really it's kind of silly to waste your time and focus on that negative comment from some loser. And if you're still not convinced, you can always find people who you can trust, maybe people who know you or even not, but people you respect their opinion, and ask them for honest feedback. In fact, I did just that when I created my last class. I asked a few creative people I liked and I trusted their opinion. I asked them to take my class in return for some honest feedback. And in this case, what I was looking for was to see if there are some improvements I can do or something additional I could add to the class. And I have to say it was great because it gave me the confidence I needed about the effectiveness of the class, and it helped me improve it. I mean, when improvements were needed. So, but then when it comes to artwork, like I said before, the main person you should trust is you. If your art feels right to you, that's all that matters. Don't listen to bad people. Don't let them get under your skin. You are so much better. You are creative. Thank you for listening. Let me know in the comments below how you deal with negative criticism and what you would like me to talk about in the next podcast. If you're interested in my books and online classes, check out the links below. And as always, don't forget to subscribe.